It's very hard to do a no-death hardcore Nuzlocke in some Pokemon games, specifically in the Unova region. In this video, I will show how I defeat Pokemon White without death, so let's get into it. The rules in this challenge are listed down below. Common rules in hardcore Nuzlockes, but I added death equals to reset. And I reset a lot of times. The reasons were Jetsis and Elisa, the electric type gym leader. I will explain deeply later. In my attempts, I always pick Oshawott because it's hard to encounter a water type on this game. Because Fishing Rod can only be obtained post-game, so you can only encounter very few Pokemons that can learn Surf. Speaking of encounters, my first encounter was a Patrat. This was a very good encounter than Lillipup. I'll explain little by little why as we move forward, so bear with me. In Route 2, I needed it to be a Purloin. If it wasn't, I will reset. But in this attempt, it was a cut. But before explaining why, I fought Bianca and Cheren and won easily. Then went to the Dream Yard, and this is the reason why I need to encounter a Patrat and Purloin. Side note, I didn't get the elemental monkeys in this route because one encounter per route is the rule. But some Nuzlockers get this Pokemon, but it's up to you. If it's a separate encounter or the same, your Nuzlocke, your rule. I needed Cut to enter the Dream Yard, so I went to the gym first. In this gym, it has a 3 gym leader, but the one you fought depends on the starter you chose. Lillipup was Sealan's first Pokemon and mine was Oshawott. This puppy is very dangerous in this stage of the game. But before it became dangerous, I beat Lillipup with the help of an Oranberry that Cheren gave me earlier. Next was the Grass Elemental Monkey. But before I switch out, I used Tail Whip. With the help of the defense debuff, I beat the Pansage using 2 tackles from Patrat, winning my first gym badge. The first gym was done, so I'll show all of you what Pokemon can defeat Elisa easily. A Munna that will evolve into a Musharna. This Pokemon boasts a very great defensive stats, physical and special. I think you'll understand later when I fought the 4th gym. Won again against Cheren, then caught an electric Zebra. After that, I caught the encounter at Wellspring Cave. In this game, there was a mechanic called ground shaking spots. You can encounter a specific Pokemon or obtain gems. I bought a lot of repels and wait for shaking spots. Obtain some gems, then finally caught the Pokemon that can beat Jetsis somewhat easily, a Drillbur. Before the second gym, I fought N, and Munna show his prowess at this fight, beating N. While battling gym trainers, my starter evolved into a Jewott. The gym fight started and I tried to beat the strong Herdier using Munna, but I failed. So I switched to Drillbur, then used Metal Claw and Dig to beat Herdier. After that, Leonora sent out the annoying Watchhog. This hog is annoying because of hypnosis. Thankfully, Cheren gave me a Chestoberry earlier to counter it. Drillbur beat the Watchhog using Dig, obtaining my second gym badge. The next gym is a bug type gym, but before that I caught a Petilil for my Pinwheel Forest encounter. Then Leonora gave me a Moonstone. Patrat evolved into a Watchhog. Lastly, I used the Moonstone to evolve Munna. After all that, I challenged the gym leader. Beat Berg, first Pokemon, using Musharna. Of course, my water type starter against Dwebble. Lastly, Watchhog with the help of Musharna against his last Pokemon, Giovanni, winning my 3rd gym badge. Before the 4th gym, I fought Bianca and Cheren. The fight with Bianca was easy. I used Duo's special moves Water Gun to beat her earlier. Musharna against her Pansage. Duot again this time against Pig Knight, then used Fury Cutter against Muna to win the fight. Cheren is up next, and I used my electric type Blitzel to win against his Spydub. Then I tried to beat Servine using Flame Charge, but Sivra almost died, so I switched out to my tank Musharna. My tanky Pokemon didn't feel Servine's attacks and win against the grass type starter. Then I sent out Petalil to beat the water elemental monkey, and I win the fight using Duot to beat his Liepard. After all the battle, I finally got a fire type Pokemon through Darumaka, caught a Sandile in Desert Resort, and fought another rival battle, this time against N. Watchog beat his Sandile by confusing and attacking using Tackle. Next was Scraggy. I tried to beat this Pokemon using Duot but I failed, so I sent out Drillbur and beat it using Dig. Same with N's Darumaka, and his last Pokemon was Sigilip, so I sent out Watchog, who had a dark move that is super effective against Sigilip, to win the fight against N. It's time for the gym. This was the reason a Deathless Run is very hard to obtain in this game. This for my roster. Of course, my start in this fight is Musharna. I thought this Pokemon Light Screen that I bought in Nimbasa City for additional defense against Volt Switch. Then Drillbur that had an attack decreasing nature for Substrika. Then Petalil, Blitzel, Duot, Watchog, lastly, Darumaka. The reason this gym was hard to beat Deathless because of two Emolgas that can Volt Switch. The only available ground type Pokemons at this moment was Drillbur and Sandile, so Volt Switch problem was solved, right? But Emolga was a flying type, so ground moves can't do a thing, and the static ability was a problem too. To add to that, Emolga knew other moves like Aerial Ace, and Drillbur and Sandile can only evolve past level 30. So before I can beat the two Emolgas, either one of my Pokemon will be dead. So my Deathless challenge will fail. To counter this cute flying electric Pokemon, I caught this Pokemon Musharna. Look at that damage, Volt Switch doesn't do a thing. For additional defense, I used Light Screen, then Emolga suddenly used Aerial Ace instead of Volt Switch. Maybe Elisa knew it's useless now. I just Psybeam until one Emolga fainted. The second Emolga was next, and just the same strat, Psybeam until death. But Emolga used Volt Switch to send out Substrika. I sent out Drillbur. Because of the Psybeam earlier, Substrika was damaged, but I think even without that, Drillbur one-shot Substrika using Dig. Then I finished the fight using Strength for Watchog, obtaining my 4th gym badge. On the way to the 5th gym, my Sivra evolved into a Substrika. Next was another battle against Cheren. Cheren can somewhat be hard to beat Deathless because of his grass-type starter Snivy that can evolve into a strong Serperior. Thankfully, I encountered a Darumaka in this run. My Darumaka was an attack boosting nature, so this was great. But this Pokemon had a very weak defensive stats. To solve that, I used Yawn using Musharna before sending out Darumaka. With the help of Hustle ability, Darumaka one-shot the problematic grass starter in Unova. The 5th gym was a ground type gym. Obviously, I started with my water type starter. Clay tried to hurt Duot by being confused using Swagger. But Duot didn't get hurt and one-shot the Kokorok. The next turn, Duot got hurt, but the third one, Duot got to attack the Excadrill. Then his last Pokemon was Palpitoad, and this Toad is a ground water type, so it makes sense to send out Petalil to obtain my 5th gym badge. After the gym, I beat Bianca again. I evolved Petalil to Lilligant using Sunstone, then Drillbur evolved into a strong Excadrill, and immediately show an Excadrill prowess. The flying type gym was easy because I have Substrika. What if I didn't have a Substrika? Well, Excadrill can beat most of Skyla's Pokemon using Rock Slide. Except Swanna, well, I had other 5 Pokemon to deal with that. Back to Zebstrika, she just obliterated the gym using electric type moves, winning the fight. After the gym, I beat Cheren for another rival battle. Then my starter obtained his final evolution. Darumaka evolved into a Darmanitan afterwards. Then, I need to find the last piece of the puzzle to win against Jetsis without a single death. And that last piece is a TM code Substitute. You can only get this practical move in the Twisted Mountain in winter. I changed my date to get my game into winter mode. Then, I obtained the move Substitute. Excadrill is my answer against Jetsis Hydreigon, but Excadrill had a low defensive stats with great offensive capabilities, or Glass Cannon for short. To solve this predicament, I needed to use Substitute to avoid getting one-shot by stronger Pokemon. To move forward in the game, I need to beat the 7th gym, an Ice-type gym. As we all know, Ice types were one of the easiest types to beat. Just use a Fire type, in my case, Darmanitan, using Fire Punch to obtain my 7th gym badge. After that, I fought Bianca for the last time. And this battle was uneventful because I got a counter to all of her Pokemon. While battling gym trainers at the 8th gym, my Excadrill learned Sword Dance. This move will help a lot in harder fights. Substitute Sword Dance combo were overpowered to say the least. It's time for the last gym and it was a Dragon type gym. I don't had an Ice and Dragon Pokemon, but I had a strong Excadrill. Excadrill boasted a high attack stats but weak defense. Doesn't matter though because Excadrill is a ground and steel type, so dragon moves will not be very effective. One Sword Dance is enough to one-shot all of 3 Iris Pokemons, obtaining my final gym badge in this challenge. Cheren asked me for a battle for the last time before the Elite Four. This battle should be hard because of Superior. With Darmanitan on the helm, this battle became easy, winning the fight. After that, I grind for levels and these were all of the Pokemon that I will use until the end. Excadrill with a attack reducing nature and a decent speed even with the reduce. I think this attack is enough. If not, I had Sword Dance. My starter Samurott, a neutral nature. Lilligant for groundwater type like Seismitoad. Musharna for yawn and defensive purposes. Zebstrika may electric type. And lastly, Darmanitan with Sheer Force. In this game, I can pick whoever Elite Four I wanted. I picked Chantal, the Ghost Specialist. She started with Cofarigus, and this two Pokemon will use Will-O-Wisp, so Substitute was the okay move here. Because Excadrill is a Steel type, Shadow Ball was not very effective, and Cofarigus needed to attack 2 times before Substitute fades away. After 2 Sword Dance, I decided to attack and use Earthquake to sweep Chantal to win my first Elite Four. After I survived the ghosts, I needed to traverse the dark against Grimsley. He is a dark specialist, but I still started with Excadrill. I navigate first to see what Scrafty will do and he used Sand Attack instead of attacking 2 straight times. This was big because I had a chance to set up. Took the chance of course and I just Earthquake to beat the Scrafty. My substitute was removed though because Crocodile was faster, but it doesn't matter because he was the only faster Pokemon in Grimsley's team, winning the fight. The Psychic Specialist Caitlyn is next. We started with the Uniqlos and luckily Focus Blast missed, so I keeps my substitute. Then I Sword Dance. The next Focus Blast hit though, so I immediately attacked. Thankfully, I got one Sword Dance to help me sweep Caitlyn's Pokemons, winning the fight. The last Elite Four that I faced is a fighting specialist. Of course, Musharna was the right Pokemon to start. Moon, Victor, and Mienshao using a bunch of Psybeam. But I switched against Sok because Musharna HP was low. I switched to Excadrill to take the Stone Edge, then to Lilligant. After that, I set up Leech Seed first, then used Giga Drain. With the combination of Leech Seed and Giga Drain, I beat Sok. His last Pokemon was Conkeldurr. I switched to Zebstrika, hoping my Zebra survived, and she survived. Then used Volt Switch for an additional damage while switching. Then sent out Sam. Conkeldurr attack hurt Sam so much, but I think it made the Torrent ability activated. With the help of Volt Switch earlier, Sam beat the Conkeldurr with one Surf, beating Marshall. The next battle was a 2-straight battle. The first one was against N. Obviously, I didn't use Zekrom, so I used Musharna against Reshiram. I set up Light Screen first to tank the Fusion Flare so I can use Yawn to make the legendary Pokemon asleep, then switch out. But before sleeping, Reshiram hit a critical hit on Samurott. Luckily, Reshiram didn't woke up before I beat him. Then N sent out Klinklang, and I took advantage of that and sent out Excadrill to set up Substitute. Then I one-shotted Klinklang and Zoroark using Earthquake, but switched to Lilligant when Caracosta endured the Earthquake because of the sturdy ability. Of course, Lilligant had the advantage beating Caracosta. Then Darmanitan just Fire Punched the Ice Cream. Archeops was a problem though. This Pokemon is strong and can one-shot most of my team. Archeops will use a super effective Stone Edge against my Fire type, so I switched to Excadrill. I'm confident because Archeops doesn't have a super effective move against my Excadrill. And this was the first reason why Excadrill is a must-have Pokemon in a Pokemon Black and White Deathless run. The second reason was against Jetsis. Jetsis started with Cofrarigus. To be safe, I went with Musharna. Obviously, I used Yawn to make the Tongue Pokemon asleep, then used Psybeam before switching out to my ace Excadrill. But this freaking Pokemon woke up as I substitute. My substitute faded after 2 Shadow Ball and 1 Sword Dance. This sequence happened again, but I needed to be lucky. If Cofrarigus didn't woke up, I am not in my situation right now. Luckily, Cofrarigus used Protect instead of attacking. But I was in red health because I used a bunch of substitute. In this instance, I thought 2 Sword Dance was enough for Hydreigon, so I used Earthquake. Speaking of Hydreigon, this Pokemon was the last reason why it's difficult to do a Deathless run in this game. This Pokemon had a great stats and diverse move pool, but Excadrill solved that by having a substitute when Hydreigon comes out. I one-shotted him using Rock Slide thanks to the 2 Sword Dance earlier. With the threat removed, the Deathless challenge was within my grasp. Beat the Bofolant, Seismitoad, Electros, and lastly, Bishop, beating the game without a single death. Thank you all for watching. Deathless run in this game was somewhat easy when you have Musharna and Excadrill. These 2 Pokemon made the bosses like Elisa and Jetsis easy when you do things right. Comment down below if you had other strategies. I love to hear it. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. See you in the next.